Very good afternoon to all of you. Thank you for joining us for this weekly media briefing. Before we begin, I have one announcement. I am pleased to announce that the Ministry of External Affairs will be organizing the third Atal Bihari Vajpayee Memorial Lecture on 23rd January, that is the coming Monday. The lecture will be delivered by Ambassador Bilhari Kaushikan, former Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Singapore. And he is currently, as you know, the chairman of the Middle East Institute at the National University of Singapore. The topic of the lecture will be the future of global uncertainty. External Affairs Minister will preside over this event. As you are aware, this is a memorial lecture series. It is organized as a tribute to late Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee, who was a towering statesman who immensely contributed to crafting India's foreign policy, both as External Affairs Minister and subsequently as Prime Minister. I'm happy to share that the lecture will be live streamed on MEA's social media platforms and you can follow it there. Okay, I'm happy to take a few questions one by one. I'll come back to you. As always, I see you first, but that's okay. So I'll start with you guys.
Sir Siddhan from Beyond.
Okay.
Sir, in Australia, we have seen number of temples being vandalized and graffiti being written on them, anti-India graffiti. Has India raised the matter officially with the Australian government?
This is Australia, right?
Yes.
Okay, just one second. I saw his hand.
Sir, time's down. Sir, you may be aware that BBC has recently broadcast a documentary, a longish documentary on the Gujarat riots, which also says that Narendra Modi was the perpetrator of ethnic cleansing. Now, this is based on a secret document that apparently has come from, just to explain to you, has come from the Foreign Office from 2002. Now, what is the Indian government's reaction to it? The British Prime Minister has spoken, but what has the Indian government said or done about it?
Okay, fair enough. Sheldon, one second. No, same question. Yours, same question. No, something else. Go ahead. Yeah, microphone.
This is Yeshi Seli from the New Indian Express. Nepal's Prime Minister has said that he'd like to come to India first amongst his foreign trips. And there is also...
no, so he has desired to come to India.
He's desired to come to India. He said it in a group of editors meeting in Kathmandu recently. Okay. Also, there's talk of the Foreign Secretary going to Sri Lanka to extend an invite to him personally. Is that on the cards?
No, I'm getting confused. You talking about Nepal Prime Minister or Sri Lanka Prime Minister?
No, Nepal
President?
Prime Minister. Right, Prachanda. Nepal Prime Minister. Did I say Sri Lanka?
No, but I didn't say the question for that.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I meant the Nepal Prime
Minister has expressed his desire to visit India, which is the part which is I need to say anything.
Is the Foreign Secretary also likely to go to Nepal to extend a...
You sure that's your question? Because you know the answer is going to be.
No. And also any update on the 8 naval officers in
I'll come back to the Nepal one. The second question is too far apart. No, I saw some hand in the first row. I know there's a lot of interest. There's somebody else whose hand I saw right up front. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, please go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm Abhishek Jha from CNN News team. My question is regarding Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. He has said that West and NATO are attempting to make overtures to India to create additional problems in its relationship with China. He has also said that so-called Indo-Pacific region, the West is out to create bloc architecture against Russia and China. You comment on that?
Yes. I don't know what to comment. He said it. You didn't really put anything vis-a-vis me. Okay, and I'll take one more question. Okay, I'll take another question.
सर विजयलक्ष्मी हूँ इंडिया टीवी से। सर थोड़े दिन पहले पाकिस्तान के प्रधानमंत्री का एक इंटरव्यू आया जिसमें उन्होंने कहा कि पाकिस्तान अपने सबक सीख चुका है और भारत के प्रधानमंत्री से कहा कि आइए बैठकर बातचीत करते हैं। कश्मीर और धारा 370 की भी उन्होंने बात की। तो कैसे भारत इसको देखता है? क्या बातचीत की कोई संभावना है?
Okay. Some more question? Take round 2? Otherwise, people say too many questions. I forget some of them. Okay, Siddhan, let me start with yours. Look, we are aware of actually recently a couple of temples that have been vandalized actually in Australia. We condemn these incidents. If I remember correctly, one was both are actually near Melbourne in Victoria. We strongly condemn such actions. These actions have also been publicly condemned by Australian leaders, community leaders, and I think religious associations there. Our Consulate General in Melbourne has taken up the matter with the local police. We have requested expeditious investigation, action against the perpetrators, and of course measures to prevent such incidents in future. The matter has also been taken up with the Australian government, both in Canberra and in New Delhi, and we are looking forward to the action that we've requested. So that was in response to what you had asked. Shrinja, your question was, you were giving some examples from the BBC documentary. I presume the one you're talking about was day before, something like that. Do note that this has not been screened in India. So I am only going to comment on the context of what I have heard about or have my colleagues have seen. Let me just make it very clear. We think this is a propaganda piece designed to push a particular discredited narrative. The bias, a lack of objectivity, and frankly, a continuing colonial mindset is blatantly visible. If anything, this film or documentary is a reflection on the agency and individuals that are peddling this narrative again. It makes us wonder whether about the purpose of this exercise and the agenda behind it. And frankly, we do not wish to dignify such efforts. Okay, fair enough. देखिए, इसमें मैं जैसे कह रहा था कि मैंने ये इंडिया में ये देख नहीं सकते, रिव्यू नहीं कर सकते इसको, ये BBC 2 में वहीं पे आ रही है, पर हमारी तौर से ये प्रोपागेंडा पीस है और सिर्फ इसका एक कोई डिस्क्रेडिटेड नैरेटिव जो कह रहा था उसी को बढ़ाने के लिए एक एफर्ट है. इसमें एक बायस जिसे कहते हैं और एक कंटिन्यूइंग कॉलोनियल माइंडसेट है और इसमें बिल्कुल ऑब्जेक्टिविटी नहीं है, स्पष्ट रूप से दिखाई देती है आप अगर उसको देखें. सिर्फ ये कहना चाहूँगा, दिखता है कि इन्होंने जिस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन और इंडिविजुअल्स इसमें जुड़े हुए हैं, इस क्लियरली कोई एक इसी नैरेटिव को बढ़ा रहा है और इस नैरेटिव से, इस स्टोरी से उन्हीं के ऊपर रिफ्लेक्शन है कि किस तरह के ऑर्गेनाइजेशन या इंडिविजुअल्स हैं ये. और इससे हमें ये लगता है और ये प्रश्न आता है कि इस एक्सरसाइज का उद्देश्य क्या है और इसके पीछे क्या एजेंडा है. और फ्रैंकली जैसे मैंने कहा, हम इसके ऊपर कोई जवाब ऐसा नहीं देना चाहते ताकि इस प्रोग्राम या डॉक्यूमेंट्री को कोई डिग्निटी मिले, कोई अच्छी तरह इसको रिस्पॉन्स करें हम. Yashi, your comment, yes, I've heard this before. I think I responded to it, but if not, look, we would be very happy to receive the Prime Minister of Nepal at a suitable, convenient date. I don't know what the modalities exactly under which he said this, but yes, I've also heard that he has expressed a desire to visit India, and I'm sure we would be happy to welcome him when he comes. And it has been practiced that on various occasions, Nepal leaders and as well as some other neighboring country leaders have tried to come to India as their first foreign visit, and I think it's a reflection of the relations, the strong relations between India and Nepal. So if I don't have an update yet, I certainly will not be in a position to speculate whether anybody is going to give a formal invitation or not. But obviously, we would welcome his visit. Abhishek, you had referred to a statement recently by Foreign Minister Lavrov of Russia. I wasn't sure how we could comment on it in any which way, in the sense it was a comment, his assessment of the world. Let me just make the overall point that, look, our relations with different countries stand on their own merit. We have good relations with various parts of various countries, various organizations and groups across the world. And we evaluate them, treat them on their own merit. And so I wouldn't like to link it with one group or versus the other. And I'm not sure I would be in a position to fully concur with what you have said. But again, I don't know if that's an actual quote. Okay, fair enough. That's exactly what I mean. It's a press release versus honor. So my comment is very simple. Our relations with our partners stand on own merit and we deal with them separately. विजय लक्ष्मी जी, आपका प्रश्न था आई थिंक प्रधानमंत्री शहबाज शरीफ वाले कमेंट पे. उन्होंने कोई इंटरव्यू के दौरान ये आपको कमेंट कर रहे हैं. देखिए, हमने वो इंटरव्यू मतलब वो कमेंट देखे हैं. हमने ये भी देखा कि उसके बाद प्रधानमंत्री कार्यालय ने कुछ उसके टिप्पणी या क्लैरिफिकेशन दी. हमने कुछ दिनों पहले और कमेंट देखे थे कुछ और पाकिस्तानी लीडर्स के माध्यम से नेताओं ने कुछ कमेंट की थी. तो इसीलिए मैं श्योर नहीं हूँ आप किस कमेंट में मेरा कमेंट चाहते हैं, क्योंकि उन्होंने कुछ कहा, पीएमओ ने, उनके पीएमओ ने कुछ कहा, कुछ उसके बाद पीएमओ ने क्लैरिफिकेशन दे दी है. तो वो कितना जायज़, वो कितना करेक्ट है, मैं सिर्फ ये कहना हूँ, हमारी जो पोजीशन है मैं उसी को दोहराऊंगा कि हमने कहा है कि हम हमेशा नॉर्मल नेबरली रिलेशंस चाहते हैं पाकिस्तान के साथ, पर एक कंड्यूसिव एटमॉस्फेयर होनी चाहिए जिसमें टेरर या हॉस्टिलिटी या वायलेंस ना हो। तो हमारी पोजीशन वही है। ओके, लेट मी टेक नेक्स्ट राउंड ऑफ क्वेश्चन। होल्ड ऑन प्रणय, आई विल कम बैक टू दैट।
सर, प्रणय उपाध्याय, एबीपी न्यूज़ से। 13 जनवरी की शाम को भारत म्यांमार सीमा के करीब म्यांमार एयरफोर्स की एक कार्रवाई हुई और उसमें रिपोर्ट्स हैं कि हमारी बॉर्डर के कुछ इलाकों में भी कुछ डैमेज हुआ है। तो उस मामले को लेकर क्या भारत सरकार ने म्यांमार सरकार के साथ कोई बात की है, और क्या फैक्चुअल पोजीशन है, क्या कोई डैमेज हुआ है, नहीं हुआ है?
वेलकम टू यू।
Harindam, Smita Sharma, just to follow up, I'm kind of confused as to how can a documentary be labeled as propaganda if it has not been viewed in India, as you say. And also, a very specific question. I mean, the documentary does show the former Foreign Secretary of UK, then Jack Straw, on record saying that there is this cable that exists, internal report that exists. Does India confirm or deny this report? Is India taking this up? The report on the Gujarat riots of 2002.
Sorry, be specific.
Is India taking up this report with UK?
Which report?
The report that Mr. Jack Straw refers to in the documentary.
Okay. Let's be clear.
That there is an internal cable of the UK government.
Fair enough. Yeah, Kalol.
Well, continuing with that, I'm Kalol from The Hindu. The BBC documentary also says that the Gujarat riots actually led to the killing of UK citizens of Indian origin. So did the UK government ever take this up with the Indian government before? The death of UK citizens in the Gujarat riots?
You mean take up as in what? As a legal thing?
Legal thing for the sake of justice or damage, diplomatically,
I'm not sure you're asking the right question. Why would they take up a case diplomatically for a death?
I mean, they're citizens, they're citizens dying in a riot.
The question is a very broad one. I'll try to answer. I'm not fully convinced with the question yourself. Yes, ma'am, go ahead. Somebody else had a hand up.
मैं सर्जना शर्मा सनमार्ग से हूँ। भारत की विदेश नीति वसुदेव कुटुम्बकम है और पाकिस्तान में जो आजकल खाने के लिए भी बहुत संकट है, तो भारत उसके आधार पर कोई मदद पहुँचाएगा क्या पाकिस्तान को?
खाने की बात कर रहे हैं या कुछ और? आटा। अच्छा, सॉरी। आटा पे बहुत स्पेसिफिक क्वेश्चन है, ये मैं कह नहीं सकता। एक और हाथ मैंने पहले देखा था, आपका था। सॉरी, आई विल कम बैक टू यू। या प्लीज गो अहेड।
सर, क्या इस्लामिक अमीरात ऑफ अफगानिस्तान ने अपने रिप्रेजेंटेटिव को दिल्ली में नियुक्त करने के लिए कोई कम्युनिकेशन किया है भारत सरकार से, और अगर हाँ तो इसकी स्थिति क्या है?
फिर से क्वेश्चन बताइए, क्योंकि आपने पहले कुछ कहा था जो मैं सुना नहीं ठीक से।
मैं तालिबान के बारे में कह रहा हूँ। क्या तालिबान अपने रिप्रेजेंटेटिव को भारत में नियुक्त करना चाहता है? क्या इस बारे में कोई कम्युनिकेशन भारत सरकार के साथ हुआ है?
ओके, I'll take another round. I know you have a few more questions. I'll come back to it. प्रणय, आपका प्रश्न था इंडिया म्यांमार बॉर्डर के बारे में। एक 13 जनवरी की आप कोई रेफरेंस कर रहे थे। 13 जनवरी का तो मुझे मालूम नहीं। मेरे पास जो इन्फॉर्मेशन है वो था कि 10 जनवरी को वहाँ पे एक एयर ऑपरेशंस हो रही थी। हमारे 10 और 11 जनवरी को हमारे सीमावर्ती सेक्टर में म्यांमार ने कोई एयर ऑपरेशंस किए थे क्लोज एरिया पे। हमने ये कंफर्म किया था कि कोई हमारी एयर स्पेस की कोई वायलेशन नहीं हुई है। पर 10 जनवरी को मेरे इन्फॉर्मेशन के मुताबिक एक बम गिरी थी तियाऊ रिवर बेड पर, जो वहाँ पे इंडिया म्यांमार बॉर्डर पे है। मेरे पास कहते हैं कि फरक्वान विलेज है, कोई चंपाई डिस्ट्रिक्ट में है। ऐसे इंसिडेंट्स हमारे लिए कंसर्न की है और चिंता की बात है, और हमने ये मैटर म्यांमार साइड से लिया है, टेकअप कर लिया है। Smita and Kalol, I'll try to answer both your questions. Look, you can't have it both ways. I am confirming that this, as far as I know, is not available for viewing here. Ideally, the question shouldn't have been asked to me, no? But people are happy to ask me a question which is not to be viewed in India. That is because we have a High Commission, we have information to that video. Okay, so that is not being screened here. I am repeating again. We think it's a propaganda piece. Our assessment is a propaganda piece. Now, how can you say that? I'm saying it. We have seen it and I feel it's a propaganda piece. I don't know what's the perspective. You could say it's not aired here, true, but I'm happily answering questions here. I'm happy to say it's not aired in India, and I could say nothing. I have no comment to make. But since you asked, I am responding to it. The separate question you had about the comments by former Foreign Secretary in that, and something about reports that he is referring. Look, he seems to be referring to some internal UK report. How do I have access to that? And it's a 20-year-old report. Why would I just jump on it now? And just because Jack Straw says it, how does it get that much legitimacy? I heard words like inquiry and investigation. There's a reason we use the word colonial mindset. We don't use words loosely. What inquiry? They were diplomats here. Investigation. Are they ruling the country? I'm sorry. I do not agree with that characterization. And obviously there is an agenda behind it. UK citizens' death. Look, if there are deaths here in our country, they're followed by our legal procedure. Whether they took it up in 2002, look, I don't have a ready answer. I wasn't around, and I'll have to check whether it was taken up, whether that's a formality of taken up or not, whether legal systems. But as you very well know, there has been a lot of legal process against deaths that have happened during that time. I wouldn't be able to answer whether it was taken up or not without checking the facts on that. संजना जी, आपने प्रश्न किया था आटा भेज रहे या नहीं, घूम फिर के. अच्छा, ब्रॉडर आटा की बात है. ओके, सो देखिए उन्होंने पूछा है क्या, मैंने मतलब ऐसे ही मैं तो आई एम नॉट श्योर कि हमारे पास आया है, और इतना मतलब कोई नेचुरल कैलामिटी भी नहीं आई है, मतलब कुछ पर्टिकुलर मेरे पास कोई ऐसा कोई खबर नहीं है. आप जनरली कह सकते हैं, पर मेरे पास कोई ऐसा कोई खबर नहीं है. योर क्वेश्चन नहीं, किसने पूछा था अभी? इंडियन आपने पूछा था. देखिए आप जैसे जानते हैं, वी डू नॉट रिकग्नाइज, दैट्स व्हाई आई वांटेड टू क्लैरिफाई. आपने कहा था इस्लामिक एमिरेट समथिंग. देखिए वहाँ पे हमारा एक टेक्निकल टीम है जो सहायता वहाँ देती है, यूनाइटेड असिस्टेंस देती है. मेरे पास कोई डिटेल खबर नहीं है कि इन्होंने ऐसा कोई रिक्वेस्ट किया हो, क्योंकि हमारे वैसे डिप्लोमेटिक रिलेशंस है नहीं. तो उनका जो आप कह रहे हैं नियुक्त करना, उनका कोई रिप्रेजेंटेटिव, आई थिंक इसके दायरे के बाहर आता है. हमारे टेक्निकल टीम ही है वहाँ पे. ना हमने कोई रिप्रेजेंटेटिव इस तरह से डिप्लोमेटिक भेजा है, ना उन्होंने यहाँ पे रखा है. Okay, I'll take one last round of questions. Okay, I'll start. No, you had once again. She had her hand up. Well, I have ignored. Please.
This is Nivedita from the Sunday Guardian. My question is on the EM's remarks on G20 at the Voice of Global South. He mentioned developing a framework for food, energy, and a green development pact. So, has there been any further progress on this and any further action?
Okay. This is by EM's in his statement. Yeah, I remember. Okay. Welcome to that. Yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, this is Mukesh Kaushik from Dainik Bhaskar. A week after technical talks between India and between Bhutan and China takes place, our Foreign Secretary is visiting Bhutan, and months after survey vessel visits of China visits Sri Lanka, our External Affairs Minister is visiting Colombo. Do you think our diplomatic train for damage control is reaching a little bit late?
Ooh, well, I like your last question. I'll come back to you. Okay, your next is yours. It's a very tough question. Okay, anyway.
Nandima from EBP.
Yeah.
I just want to understand, has there been any conversation between EM Jaishankar with the new Chinese Foreign Minister Qin Gang? Thank you.
Okay, Sri Lanka related. Go ahead. I'll come to you. So EM with the new foreign minister of China. Okay.
The letter that has been sent from our finance ministry as an IMF assurance for Sri Lanka, is India hopeful that this will really kind of help in the bailout process? If you could shed some more light on that.
Sure. Welcome.
सर, ब्रह्म प्रकाश जी न्यूज़ से मेरा सवाल है, क्या विदेश मंत्रालय का जो ईमेल सर्वर है वो हैक किया गया? कुछ हैकर्स ने दावा किया है. जी न्यूज़ की तरफ से 11 दिसंबर को आपके पास वो डिटेल भी भेजा गया था.
मैं तो देखा ही नहीं.
आपके यहाँ पर आपके लोगों ने देखा है?
कौन है लोग? किसने देखा है?
तो उसमें काफी जो जानकारी है वो हैकर्स.
नहीं, मैं आपको मना नहीं कर रहा हूँ, पर आप कह रहे चिट्ठी भेजिए. आप प्रश्न पूछिए आपका, मैं जितना हो सकता है.
यही है कि क्या जो ईमेल सर्वर है वो हैक किया गया है, जैसा कुछ हैकर्स दावा कर रहे हैं, और उन्होंने जानकारी.
जी आपका शायद राउंड 2. Oh, you didn't ask. Sorry, you held back your question. Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, Avinash Agarwal from the Asahi Shinbun. Sir, China has said that its population has come down for the first time.
Okay.
And there are reports that India have already become the largest population country. So how do you see this? I mean, there are some people see that as the largest populated country. You may have certain administrative diplomacy.
I'm reminded of my exams I took in my youth. Right. Okay, I'll try to, since you asked. Okay, last question here. No, okay, oh, he has. If you have more questions, I'll take another round, but we are running. Yeah. Oh, let me take this, and I have a feeling you have some more questions around. I'll come back to you. Okay, I'll come back to you. Okay, look, Nivedita ji, that statement by EM, yes, it's too early for us to give details. But as you would appreciate, we are now, with the G20 presidency, we will try to put forth new initiatives or ideas that we have. One of the elements, as we said, of holding this Voice of Global South Summit was to elicit suggestions, perspectives, concerns from the developing world. And this was something that from our perspective that came out. We will certainly share with you more details once it's a little more fleshed out and we present it. It'll be premature to talk about it. But yes, it shows the indication of points of where we would like to work towards. Mukesh Kaushik, I loved your last line. What train of diplomacy reaching late? I must remember that for future. Okay. No, I love the way you see we have a strategic conspiracy theory about. Unfortunately, look, if we had gone before these talks happened, then you would have said, they're already planting it or something. Look, no time is good time or any time is good time. I don't know how to answer it. Let me just put in context on both these issues that you raised. On China and Bhutan, this thing happened in Kunming. That's what you're referring to. Look, these are going on since 1984, right? Something like that. The talks. We have noted this development, but that doesn't mean we should or not go. Our foreign secretary is there currently as part of what we had used to call plant talks, but subsequently are now been expanded to call the development cooperation talks. These basically give you a structured idea of what are the issues and projects that both sides will look at and jointly, try to organize, and the Bhutanese will implement. This will be the fourth such meeting. I think the foreign secretary has gone. The foreign secretary is attending. This is the fourth meeting. I think this is his first. And he will also call on the Bhutanese leadership. The visit is still on, so let me not prejudge what might be discussed. As regards Sri Lanka, again, I'm not linking it to anything. I mean, I would appreciate it if you said it was linked to the announcement regarding maybe financing assurances. But with that ship, it's what? The ship will come, ship will go. I mean, I don't think we should link it to such stuff. He has just, the External Affairs Minister has just landed in Colombo. We will keep you updated. He usually puts out himself directly through tweets. Otherwise, in other mechanisms, we'll let you know what happens. His conversations there are going to be wide-ranging. He's going to meet a large section of the political leadership. He is also going to, look at some projects, etc. But let it happen. Smita, you asked about the element of IMF assurances. Look, this is something we've been saying all through. We would like to be supportive. We have been supportive bilaterally in assistance. There is an important element now of debt, having a sustainable debt framework and a structure for Sri Lanka. The IMF is leading that. As part of that, they wanted financing assurances from other creditors. We have done that. We have formally sent it to the IMF, and I think that information has been made public by the Sri Lankan side. And we are hopeful that this would help Sri Lanka, not just this, the conversations with the IMF would help, close this deal, if you would like to call it that way, and actually make a change into how the debt is restructured, additional financing comes in, and Sri Lanka is able to move to a path of more sustainable fiscal management. Naima, your question regarding EM, I am not aware of it, to be honest. I hope I'm not caught out wrong and External Affairs Minister, after I leave this meeting, says, I did speak to him. But as far as I know, there has not been an occasion on which she has spoken. But if there is a change, I will apologize and come back and give you the correct picture. Brahm Prakash ji, आप हैकिंग की बात कर रहे थे, राइट? हमारे वेबसाइट या ईमेल्स या कुछ ईमेल सर्वर का आपको कैसे मालूम था? नहीं, आपको पता कैसे लगा? या पता कैसे है? या ऐसा आपको ये खबर कहाँ से? आपने कहा 10 तारीख को कुछ भी? हाँ, बेच रहे थे. देखिए, लेट मी जस्ट से कि हमारे मंत्रालय में सिक्योरिटी मैकेनिज्म्स है और साइबर सिक्योरिटी हम बहुत सीरियसली लेते हैं और कोई भी ब्रीच का एलिगेशन हो उसको भी बहुत सीरियसली लेते हैं. और हम NIC के साथ काम करते हैं, वो सर्वर्स वो मेंटेन करते हैं और अदर टेक्निकल एजेंसीज भी हैं, उनके साथ भी हम इसके साथ डिस्कस करते हैं, छानबीन करते हैं, इसका इन्वेस्टिगेशन होता है. सिक्योरिटी इम्प्लीकेशंस के तहत मैं आपको स्पेसिफिक इंसिडेंट में कमेंट नहीं कर पाऊंगा, क्योंकि ना हाँ कहूँगा ना कहूँगा, क्योंकि उसमें इम्प्लीकेशंस है। पर आपको ये आश्वासन देना चाहता हूँ कि हम भी ऐसे इंसिडेंट ऐसे एलिगेशन इंसिडेंट बहुत सीरियसली लेते हैं, यहाँ तक सीमित रखना चाहता हूँ। I don't know how to answer your question, Avinash ji. I think I will quote what EM said. I think EM said it a few days ago. EM was asked whether this is a statistic or this is more to it. And he put it very nicely, which is that it is a statistic, but it's also an important statistic. It is an important statistic in the thing. If we are the largest country in the world, we are, the largest, most populated, we are 1/6 of humanity. I think the global institutions should reflect that. I think our presence, our voice on institutions of global governance should reflect that. But other than that, I don't think this is a statistic that we are tracking or makes that much difference. I hope that our large population we'll be able to use it to actually support global growth for decades to come. But that's my own personal view. I must also confess. No, I had Akhilesh. Yeah, go ahead.
So I am Akhilesh Suman from Sansad TV. It is a follow-up of the Afghanistan question.
Which Afghanistan question?
Madhurendra has asked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is an Afghanistan embassy here in Delhi. So what is the status of that embassy, and do we plan to send any envoy to Afghanistan as an ambassador?
Okay, that's the second one's easier. Okay. No, there's somebody else who had a first question. Who was that? Shailendra. Yeah, I didn't take a question. Yes.
सर शैलेंद्र वांगू न्यूज़ 18 से अब्दुल रहमान मक्की को लेकर हम आपका कमेंट देख चुके हैं, आपने इस पर रिएक्ट किया था, लेकिन ऐसा क्या हुआ कि चीन ने अपना टेक्निकल होल्ड हटा लिया, प्लस 4 और ऐसे लोग हैं जिन पर टेक्निकल होल्ड चाइना ने रख रखा है, तो क्या हम उम्मीद करें कि इस साल में वो चारों पे हम उनको आतंकी घोषित कर पाएंगे यूएनएससी में, भारत जो एफर्ट्स लगा रहा है?
समझ लिया। और एक क्वेश्चन था मैम, यू हैड द सेम क्वेश्चन? ओके, गो अहेड, सिंस यू डिडंट आस्क, गो अहेड।
आई एम प्रीति, इंडिपेंडेंट जर्नलिस्ट। So the EM is on the visit to Maldives and
no, is right now he's in Sri Lanka. He's just arrived in Colombo.
Okay. So this is regarding Maldives.
Yes, please.
Apart from the development projects we've offered them and we are working there. There is a big LOC also which has been given to Maldives.
No.
So was work permit for Indians been also talked about? And also any defense assistance, like earlier we gifted them helicopters. So any kind of that discussions that have happened in Maldives.
You clearly don't believe in privileged communication between leaders, but I'll try to answer your question to the extent possible. Yeah, you have something else? Some new topic? Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Shinja. We'll take the last one. Yeah.
Sir, times now. There have been reports about an Indian professor who was very badly treated by Pakistani diplomats, and a lot of...
In the High Commission here?
Yes, in the High Commission here. Could you tell us what the MEA and the Indian government have done on this issue?
Okay. You have... Yeah, Sudhi, go ahead. You hadn't asked, so go ahead.
Just Shudhirajan from Bloomberg. On the BBC documentary issue, the documentary is available on YouTube. Do you think Government of India is going to ask you to take it down? Is that what is in the horizon or being thought of? Thank you, sir.
I can't hear you without a microphone. You had asked that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, if the Indians in Qatar, is there any update? Do we know what are the charges against them so far?
Fair enough. I'll close with that. Okay. Akhilesh, look, I'm not. As I said, we don't have diplomatic relations with the governing structures in Afghanistan. So obviously, till such time happens, ambassadors don't go. So let me rule that out clearly. The exact status of Afghan embassy here flies a flag. They run their operations here. I leave it at that. We do deal with it. शैलेंद्र, आपका प्रश्न पहला पार्ट मुझे क्यों पूछ रहे हैं, और चाइना कहाँ से घुस गई? मैंने तो नहीं कहा कि चाइना ने रोक रखी थी, आप कह रहे हो। एक कंट्री ने टेक्निकल होल्ड दिया था, हो सकता है उस कंट्री ने ही निकाल दिया हो होल्ड, तो आप उनसे पूछ लीजिए जो भी कंट्री होगा जिन्होंने होल्ड दिया था। आपका दूसरा पार्ट क्या था सवाल का, कि आगे बाकी जो 4, यकीनन हम पुश करते रहेंगे कि बाकी जो 4 है, अभी जो हमने हमारे प्रेसिडेंसी के दौरान हमने जो 5 नाम दिए थे, वो बाकी 4 का भी हम लिस्टिंग के लिए हम पूरी प्रयत्न जो कर सकते हैं करेंगे। Preeti, you had referred to the visit ongoing, or just finished visit of, this is some of the problems when the visit has just finished. I don't have a full readout yet. Let me just explain to you what, from our understanding, look, Maldives has a very special relationship, like our neighbors. EM's visit was a part of that development partnership, also to discuss with the leadership, the regular consultations that happen. This time, interestingly, if you noticed, he had gone to the northern atolls. He normally has been going more to the capital, etc., and the south, but this one's the north. One of the biggest projects was this Hanimadu International Airport, which was set up. This is going to be the largest infrastructure development project there, so that is something very important. I think he also inaugurated a community center in Fuakaidu. He, of course, met the president, the foreign minister, and other leaders. I think he put it very nicely in one of his tweets, EM, that we are a committed partner of Maldives for progress and transformation. During the visit, during his actually meeting with the foreign minister of Maldives, I think MOUs were signed, exchange on community development projects. We gave more money. That wasn't LOC, those are grant projects. We have promised to build a sports complex. There was something between Cochin University and the Maldives National University, academic collaboration agreement. And with the defense you mentioned, we have, I think, given 2 sea ambulances this time. It was announced. We also had a gift of 10,000 books to Maldives schools. So that's broadly the overall context of it. I would have to check whether work permits were discussed. Let EM come back. But he hasn't made it public. But look, our conversation covers a lot of issues, and Indian workers in Maldives are an important part of that relationship. But I don't know whether we needed to have a separate conversation or not. Defense, I don't have any particular update on that. Shinjoy, your question was on regarding an allegation or a report of sexual harassment of an Indian citizen inside the Pakistan High Commission premises. Look, this we do, and ministry has taken serious note of this complaint. We have raised the issue with Pakistani authorities, and we have asked them to investigate the matter. We have also seen in recent days a statement by the Pakistan Foreign Ministry saying that they're looking into the case. For the moment, that's all I can share with you. इनके प्रश्न का देखिए, मंत्रालय इन्होंने एक प्रश्न उनका था एक सेक्सुअल हैरेसमेंट कंप्लेंट के बारे में, एक इंडियन सिटीजन जो पाकिस्तानी हाई कमीशन में गई थी. मंत्रालय ऐसे कंप्लेंट को और इस कंप्लेंट को बड़ी गंभीरता से लेती है. हमने पाकिस्तानी अधिकारियों को के समक्ष ये मुद्दा उठाया है और उनसे इस मामले की जांच करने के लिए कहा है. और कुछ दिनों पहले मुझे देखा कि पाकिस्तान फॉरेन मिनिस्ट्री ने एक बयान दी है कि वो इस मामले का जांच कर रहे हैं. अभी के लिए इतना ही मैं शेयर कर सकता हूँ. Before I come to Sudhi's question, on the Qatar query, I think, Smriti, you raised that Qatar query. Look, I don't have too much of an update, but some update I do have this week, which is that, let me just say, let me make a statement that we continue to pursue the matter of their early release and repatriation. We are also facilitating visits and meetings of family members with the detained Indian nationals. This week, the 3rd round of consular access took place. I think one of the lawyers, another lawyer, attended it also, along with our High Commission embassy officials. During this 3rd consular access, the well-being of Indian nationals is ascertained. And let me reiterate, government continues to attach high priority to this matter. Sudhi, your query was whether there are plans to... look, I haven't gone around checking out social media. We are not the agency which controls access to social media. You'll have to ask the concerned ministries. I was told it's not for viewing here. That's not our decision. It's a BBC decision. I would leave it at that. Unless I might have a short-lived life, because if there are IPR violations on screening it in non-approved jurisdictions, they tend to get shot. But look, I'm not aware of details at this moment. Thank you very much. Thanks all for joining this special.